Well, the big game is over and Texas has to get back to work. This week, it's UT San Antonio. Let's talk about it next. Hey everybody, Brian Davis from A to Z Sports here covering the Texas Longhorns. Yes, we're going to talk about hype videos, if you can believe that. I can't believe it, but we're going to do it right here in this hype video to get you hype for UTSA. The Roadrunners coming in here 1-1. They're 32.5-point underdogs coming in this week. It's a totally different team. Jeff Traylor is going to be bringing into Royal Memorial Stadium than he did a couple years ago when they really hung tough with Texas. Totally different times, totally different teams. Texas is going to win this one easy this week, but we'll get to that later on in the week. Let's talk about what happened today. First off, news out of the SEC office that Texas quarterback Quinn Ewers was the SEC Offensive Player of the Week. He was phenomenal against Michigan, 3 touchdowns, leading the 31-12 victory in the Big House. Also getting note, senior center Jake Majors was the SEC Co-Offensive Lineman of the Week. Jake playing a big role in paving the way for young running backs as they went out there. If you'd have told me 3 or 4 years ago when Texas was moving into the SEC that they were going to be winning offensive line awards, I would have said you're out of your mind, right? I would have said no way. But I think it's a real testament to what Steve Sarkisian has done, building the program with big humans, laying the groundwork. We've talked about that on these videos. We've written about that on A to Z Sports. That is why Texas is SEC ready. They've gone out and got multiple big linemen, built up the depth in the trenches, and they are ready to go. So hats off to you, Jake Majors, SEC Co-Offensive Lineman of the Week. Second thing let's talk about this week today, let's talk about some football IQ. Steve Sarkisian talked about that in the presser today. You know, Sark talked about how the importance of having a good football IQ is. You know, I was watching the Oklahoma and Houston game this past weekend. Very, very sloppy game. Very sloppy game from start to finish, especially the finish, okay? There were some things on that tape that, quite honestly, will keep a lot of coaches up at night. The way that the Houston punt returner let the ball bounce, roll to the 5-yard line there towards the end when they needed to pick up the ball and get yards, that set up Oklahoma's defense. They get a safety. Oklahoma gets the ball right back. Next thing you know, they're having to punt, and they're trying to kneel down to get out of time. There's a skirmish on the kneel down. Offensive lineman takes his helmet off. Bang, 15-yard penalty. Oklahoma has to kick it. Okay, and now you give Houston another chance in a 4-point game. Terrible, sloppy football. And if you saw the post-game interview, Brent Venables, he said twice, we deserve to lose. He said that twice in his post-game television interview. I've never seen that before from a coach. But the point of the matter is football IQ. That is such a huge issue to how this thing at Texas is going to work or not. And Sark talked about it on Monday. He said today, he says, yeah, I look for those examples. I want to see those examples. I want to show that to our team that this is not how you play Texas football. And it's interesting to me that he's actively looking for examples of what teams should not be doing as they are trying to win games, because dumb things like taking your helmet off, getting penalties, missing out on hidden yardage, those are going to cost you ball games. No doubt about it. Finally, today, let's talk about hype videos, right? I promised you we'd get hype in this video. Well, did you see what got the Longhorns hyped in the tunnel before they faced Michigan? A really interesting clip surfaced online that I thought was very revealing in the locker room, right? If you don't know who Little Boozy is, you could do the Google yourself. He goes by Boozy Badass now. The Longhorns have been tasked with this coaching staff. They want come out with more energy, come out with more fire, right? And if it takes getting to play the cool music to get it going, then do it, right? That's all Sark wants. He wants the team to come out really fired up on the road. You got to bring your own energy. The new line that the coach has been using that I really like, it's 100 of us versus 100,000 of them. Big win on Saturday, but they got to keep it going forward, right? Again, UTSA coming to Royal Memorial this week, 32.5-point underdogs. Not the best look. It's going to be a very tall task for Jeff Traylor and company. We'll see. We should see Arch Manning this week. Hopefully, if we don't see Arch Manning and a lot of other freshman backups, something's probably gone drastically wrong. But I'll tell you this, we've got a lot of coverage lined up ready for you on A to Z Sports all week long. Come see us. It's completely free. You don't need a subscription. You just need to come and see us. A2Zsports.com. Come see us for all your Texas coverage. I'm Brian Davis. We'll catch you next time.